What's up? It's Matty NASCAR with the Chase for Checkers show, here to talk to you about the race at New Hampshire. We're going to talk over our best bets. I've got about 12 of them, so 10 of your typical ones, and then I have a couple prop ones that I like. Not been a whole lot in the recent history that I have been on, but two that stuck out to me as I was digging here right before I jumped on here. So let's jump into it. Richmond was a really, really good race for us. I said I was confident that we would get not one, but at least two top 10 picks, because we got some guys that plus money that you wouldn't normally think about getting, like a William Byron, Tyler Reddick, and Chase Elliott. We walked away with 3 top 10s, which was really good. And then we had race winner Joey Logano. So, excuse me, really good week for us. First time in a while that we've had a weekend like that. It's been a lot of like just winners or like a top 10 or something like that. So that was really good to have. This week, I'm confident we're going to get a winner again. It's been a lot of favorites lately, so this is going to be favorite heavy. But I do have a guy who's, I think, being slept on a little bit, who I think we should maybe take notice of. And then for top 10s, we got another guy on here who I'm surprised we're getting at plus money again. And then we got some of, I've got a good handful of different teams. I don't think I've got every driver in my top 10 is from a different team, which is new, because usually I'm like heavy on one team or something like that. So yeah, a lot of diversity in the top 10 picks. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Let's start with the props, because they will be during the race. And the first one that I have is stage 1 winner Ryan Blaney at plus 350. Now, I don't do a whole lot of stage winner bets because, quite honestly, I don't see them a lot. The only book that I have seen that offers them is Caesars. This is on Caesars, by the way, as well. So, Ryan Blaney has won 6 stages this year. He leads the field in stage wins, and 4 out of the 6 have come in stage 1. Last week, he won stage 1, and I think they're going to be good this week. It's that type of track where the Penske boys seem to do really well, so I think he'll be up front again. And I think he's got a good chance to win that first stage, so I really like that. Next pick that I have is stage 2 winner Joey Logano at plus 500. Now, up until North Wilkesboro, he had not won a stage. Now he's won 2 stages. He also won a stage last week at Richmond. So now he has 2 stage wins. Both of them have came at the second stage. He's another one. Same with Blaney. I think they're going to be good. I think they're going to be up front. I think he's got a good shot to win. And if you're going to win, you're probably going to win stage 2. And looking back at New Hampshire last year, Blaney won the first one. Logano won the second stage. I think they repeat that this year. So look for those Penske cars up front early, winning stages. Hopefully I don't get those backwards. That would really suck. There is a good chance of that too. But that's what I like. I like Blaney stage 1 winner and then Logano stage 2. If you have the money to play with, I would do them for both. So Blaney and Logano stage 1, or vice versa. But I'm just not doing that. I'm just going to do Blaney stage 1, Logano stage 2. That's it. Then we're going to go into top 10s. So like I said, I got a little bit of all over the board as far as like the teams for top 10 picks. But we're going to start off with a guy who, like I said earlier in this video, that I am surprised we get at plus money again. And that's Chase Elliott. I've got him at plus 100 on DraftKings. Now, Elliott is tied for 3rd in best average finish here at New Hampshire with a 9.3. He's got a 2nd, 12th, 18th, and a 5th. He's 7th overall on average speed rank at 8.8. And looking at the average finishes of races that are similar to this track, so Phoenix, North Wilkesboro, Iowa, and Richmond for this year, his finishes aren't great. So 23rd in Phoenix, 17th in North Wilkesboro, 15th in Iowa, but he did get a 5th last week. And have they been running super well? Not really. Last week's finish was a lot more strategy, I think, than anything. But this is a team that they're past champions. They're Hendrick. He's the only Hendrick driver to win this year. At plus money for a top 10, I'm going to take that. So yeah, that was my kind of a steal pick. I get why it's plus money, but anytime you're going to give me a guy like that for plus money for a top 10, I'm going to take it. Next guy that I have is the other Penske teammate and Austin Cindric at plus 135 on DraftKings. Now, Austin Cindric, he's one of the Penske boys, obviously. I think Logano and Blaney, spoiler alert for later in the video, I think they're probably going to be contending for a win. I flirted with Cindric maybe getting a win, just because I feel like New Hampshire and these short flat tracks, they've given us some surprise winners over the past however many years. You look at the Austin Dillon surprise winners at Richmond. You look at Austin Cindric got a surprise at, I think it was Iowa or Gateway. Either way. Then you had Eric Amarola got a win here randomly at New Hampshire. So I was kind of like, maybe it's somebody who you don't think of type of win. Ultimately, I like the plus money at 135 for a top 10. He's got a 21st overall average finish at 18.5, 13th, 25th, 19th, 17th. Not great. Average speed rank, he is... he's 22nd, so still not like a lot better. But looking at his average finish at these tracks this year, he does have a 14th at North Wilkesboro and a 3rd at Richmond. So I think they're going to turn it around. They also ran pretty well here last year. Or no, it wasn't last year. I'm thinking of a different track. I think he was maybe got in some trouble or something last year. I don't know. I'm blanking. I apologize. But I think that he is going to run well. I think Penske, just being as good as they are here, it's getting down to trying to fight for a chase spot. I think he's got a good shot for a top 10 here. I trust the Penske power. Another guy that I have is Ross Chastain at plus 185 on FanDuel. I would not have made this pick earlier in the year, but the one car has been turning it around a little bit quietly in the last couple races. In fact, I'm going to jump straight to the average finishes of these types of tracks. And Ross Chastain is currently ranked 16th at an 18.5. So that Phoenix race, the North Wilkesboro, 28th, 27th, not great. But then Iowa, 7th, Richmond, 12th. They're starting to find some speed at these types of tracks. He's got an average finish here at New Hampshire of 12.5. He's 7th overall. He's got finishes of 8th, 23rd, 10th, and 9th. So 3 top 10s out of 4. I really like Ross Chastain this week. As they're starting to, trying to still fight for a chase spot. Very unlikely, but you never know. Getting good finishes, top 10s, and with Zilich signing with Hendrick, maybe there's a little more eyes on the one car this week, and from now on, I don't know. But I really like Chastain at that number for a guy who's been running well at these types of tracks here lately. Gonna keep the streak going, I think. Plus 185. Next guy that I have, somebody who is not on a good streak, but I think is going to try to turn it around, is Carson Hocevar. Got him at plus 320. There for a while, you couldn't get Carson Hocevar plus money for a top 10. He was running so well. But he has had some trouble here lately. Looking at his average finishes at these types of tracks, it's nothing that kind of sticks out to you in a good way, I would say. In fact, he's all the way down at 31st. He's got a 20th, 13th, 31st, and 37th. Obviously, last week had the trouble. He's been in just a lot of, different things that have happened, some bad luck. But his average finish in just 2 races here, he's got a 17th and an 11th for 14th average finish. Speed ranking, he's ranking at... Let's see here. Ranking at... Oh, I can't find the boy. Uh, 14th 16.5. He was ranked 6th in speed last year. And then the other thing that kind of stands out to me, he finished 11th last year, and looks like he had a pretty good average running position. Looking at the paper from last year, he finished 5th in both stages, so definitely was up near the front. I think this is a good race for them to hopefully get it back on tracks, because, man, they have been spiraling a little bit lately. So yeah, I think Carson Hocevar plus 320, really good number for that guy, because again, I know that he's had, a lot of trouble, but plus 320 for a guy who used to, earlier in the year not be able to get for plus money at all, really good. Then my final pick is Ryan Preece at plus 380 on DraftKings. Now, RFK, I have been vocal the last couple weeks. I think they're going the wrong way. I would be very worried if I was them. All that sorts of stuff. Ryan Preece, though, is fighting for a chase spot. Listening to him on the Bustin' with the Boys podcast, heard them talking about how Brad will go above and beyond as an owner to try to, I think they said that he gave up some of his own pit crew that was really, really good when Preece first came in, just to make sure he had a good pit crew. I think if Busher I don't think he's locked in, but he's in a pretty good spot. Keselowski probably understands that he's not going to get in. I bet a lot of focus has been on Preece. This is a track that they have to be good at. It's a track that they're expected to be good at. This is Preece's home kind of track area, at least. At plus 380 for that, I think that's a really, really good number. At New Hampshire, Preece has got an average finish of 17.7, which puts him 16th overall. His last two races, 11th and 14th. And then at these types of tracks here lately, he is actually the best of the RFK team with a 15.0 average finish, 10th overall. He's got a 13th, 10th, 20th, and 17th. So I really think he's got a good chance at his home track to bring home a top 10, hopefully get himself closer into this chase. I don't know if he's going to make it, but this is the track that you've got to do it at. We know his history with Daytona, so I probably wouldn't put all my chips in on Daytona. This is where I would do it if I was him. So a plus 380 for a top 10 for that guy, I think is a really, really good deal. Then we're going to move on to winners. And again, like I said, it's a lot of favorites. Shouldn't be any surprises on here. There's one guy at the end who is not going to be a huge surprise, but I've got a reason why, I'm picking him, even though I think he's a little kind of being passed by, I would say. But we're going to start off with the favorites. We're going to go through those first. We have Ryan Blaney plus 450 on DraftKings. That's an obvious one. I talked about it already. I think they're going to be fast. They do well. Blaney doesn't have necessarily the best average finish here. In fact, he hasn't finished higher than 18th except for his win last year. So, he's had some trouble here, but these types of tracks is the Penske bread and butter. It's Blaney's bread and butter. It's what they've been super good at here the last couple years. So I expect the 12 car to be up front. We can move on. Christopher Bell plus 500 on DraftKings. A lot of the same thing. These types of tracks he's really, really good at. He's third overall in average finish at 9.3. He's got 2 wins here. 6th place finish last year. He's tied for second overall in average speed. The guy has finished second again and again and again. He's going to break through eventually. I know I've said it like every week now. Eventually it's going to happen for him. 20 car is going to get a win. I think got a really good shot here at New Hampshire. Moving on, Logano. Again, Penske guy. Logano is the hot hand right now. He's been king of these types of tracks here, especially in the last 2 races. But really this season, even with the bad finish at Phoenix, he was really fast there beforehand. So yeah, Logano, dude, it's an even year. I don't know how he's doing it, but the big bad bald man he might do it again. So Logano plus 600 on DraftKings. He is another one. 7th overall in average finish here at 11.8. He's got Or no, I'm sorry, that's his average finishes this year at these types of tracks. Obviously 2 wins already at North Wilkesboro and Richmond. As far as average finish at just New Hampshire, 15.5, 11th overall, 24th, 2nd, 32nd, and 4th. So 2 top 5 finishes out of 4 races. Ranks 4th overall in average speed rank. He's going to be fast. He's going to be good. And a confident Joey Logano is scary. Then I've got Chase Briscoe at plus 850 on FanDuel. And I've got Briscoe because he is 3rd overall in average finish here with 15th, 10th, 2nd, and 10th. And what's nice is that average finish, that's 4 races. It's 2 in Joe Gibbs, 2 in Stuart Haas. So for that good of an average finish with 2 teams, that's pretty impressive to me. Speed ranking wise, he is 17th, so not as high as you would expect with those average finishes. But then at these types of tracks, obviously Briscoe has been really, really good. North Wilkesboro 3rd, Iowa 6th. 2nd last week at Richmond, was really close to winning. He's another one who just keeps really getting close at these types of tracks, and really just every week. So at plus 850, I really like that number for a guy who's in the Joe Gibbs car and who just finished 2nd at a track like this last week. He's got a lot of momentum behind him as well. And then my last pick, the guy who I think is kind of going under the radar, and it kind of goes with what I just said, momentum, and that's Kyle Larson at plus 1,300. Now, I know what you're thinking, Kyle Larson? Really? How is that under the radar? Well, we all know Hendrick's trouble. And the books back it up. You can get you can get Team Hendrick to win at plus 500, which is crazy to think about. Chevy is the 3rd favorite out of 3 manufacturers to win, so it would be Ford, Toyota, and then Chevy, which is insane again to think about. But Kyle Larson at plus 1,300 is a pretty big number for a driver like Larson. A lot like the Hocevar number, where at one point it was couldn't get plus money, now he's plus 320. At one time, Larson every week was kind of like how Blaney or how Hamlin's been, where it's been plus 300-400, and to get him at plus 1,300 is just a number that I like for that driver who can win anywhere. Now, he's got 2nd best average finish here, and that is 1st if you count drivers who have done all 4 races, because Josh Berry technically has the best average finish with 3rd and 2nd, but he's only ran 2 races. Kyle Larson, 14th, 3rd, 4th, 7th. He is 9th overall in average. He is tied for 2nd in average speed rank. And then at these types of tracks this year, Larson is 9th with a 3rd, 15th, 33rd, and a 6th. But here's where I'm leaning at when I talk about momentum. No, it's no shock to anybody, no surprise. Everybody knows the story of what Larson has went through with the doubles, this huge streak of not winning a race, but really good run at Richmond after looking like he was out to lunch. Fought back, was super fast there at the end. They set it on door bumper clear that he was just hauling, and really good finish to 6th. Then the rain at the Knoxville Nationals happened. He is able to get there and win the race. Did that undo some bad juju? Having a double, a double happen, and it worked out for him. Did it reverse the bad juju, the jinx, the curse, whatever's going on with the 5 team? Is there some momentum now in that 5 camp? Has something happened to Larson now that it's just going to click? I don't know. He might say that's all hogwash. Maybe you think it's all hogwash. But there might be something to it. To have it actually work out for you. To think, hey, maybe the world isn't against me. Maybe it's not always going to be bad. I don't know. So, for a guy who had, luck clearly on his side there, and at plus 1,300 for last year's champion, a guy who's, ranked really high as far as averages at this track, I love that number, and I'm willing to bet, obviously, that I think some bad juju's off of that 5 car, and we could see him as a somewhat surprise winner this week. But anyways, that's my card. Those are my picks. Comment below. Tell me, what do you think? Do you agree with my Larson theory? Do you like any of the other picks? Dislike any of the other picks? What do you think of the top 10 stages? All of those. Would love to hear from you, what some of yours are maybe. If you're not following, please do. Please like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Check me out on Twitter. You'll be able to see a link tree there. You can go to my TikTok, where I do some shorter videos of like this, but then also just a couple different things like race rating, a flag stand segment, which is like a takes video, things of that nature. Would love for you to check that out, follow that as well. And other than that, we'll see you back Sunday night for the post-race take show after what I'm hoping is a really great race at New Hampshire. I'm Matty NASCAR. This is Chase for the Checkers. See ya.